Hey Heartland, this is Mrs. Cisco again with your Weighty Word of the Week. We're on week 3, which means we are on the letter C. Mr. Ephraim Sawdust, the manager of the Turkey Trotter's two-ring circus and ice-capade, was looking for someone to replace the fat man, who had gone on a diet. No more fat men for me, thought Mr. Sawdust. I'm going to find a glittering new act for my circus. So Mr. Sawdust advertised in every newspaper, inviting one and all to try out. The day of the tryouts, dozens of people arrived at the circus. Clowns, tumblers, dancers, bareback riders, lion tamers, high-wire acrobats, gymnasts, strongmen, and animal trainers. All right, shouted Mr. Sawdust, chewing on his cigar. Let's get started. But remember, what I'm going for is a bright new act, one that glitters, so do your stuff. An elephant trainer led a great African elephant into the ring. At the trainer's command, the elephant jumped through a flaming hoop. Then he spun around on one leg, balanced a beach ball on the end of his trunk, and trumpeted, "My country, 'tis of thee." Yes, very good, said Mr. Sawdust, but it's not quite what I had in mind. A high-wire performer climbed to the top of the circus tent and, without a safety net below, walked across a wire suspended 100 feet above the ground. Then he walked to the middle of the wire, stopped, balanced on one foot, leaned over, and taking hold of the wire, performed a handstand. Mr. Sawdust shook his head. Not bad, he said, but I already have a high wire performer. I'm looking for something different, an act with sparkle and flash. Standing off to one side was an ice skater. What are you doing here, kid? Said Mr. Sawdust. I've come to try out, answered the girl. Why, laughed Mr. Sawdust, you look like you couldn't be more than 10 years old. But I've been skating for 8 years, she replied. I'll give you 2 minutes, said Mr. Sawdust. The girl took a deep breath and swept out on the ice. Quickly, she skated from one end of the rink to the other, back and forth, over and over again, faster and faster. Suddenly, she jumped, spinning in space, turning until she appeared in the beam of the spotlight to be floating, suspended in air. Her spins and jumps were dazzling. Her loops and curves were glittering. Her costume was sparkling. The sprays of ice set free by her skidding skates looked like puffs of smoke hanging in the shafts of light. Mr. Sawdust was speechless. He couldn't believe his eyes. The girl glittered and gleamed. She sparkled and flashed. Mr. Sawdust was so amazed that he did something he hardly ever did. He took his cigar out of his mouth. Calling the girl to the side of the rink, Mr. Sawdust exclaimed, "You're hired. What's your name?" "Cora," she said. "You'll be famous, Cora. I'll put your name in lights." With a shake of his head, Mr. Sawdust relit his cigar and walked away mumbling, "What a performance! Boy, can that Cora skate!" So, whenever someone or something glitters and gleams, sparkles and flashes, think of Mr. Sawdust saying, "Boy, can that Cora skate!" And you will remember the word Coruscate. So, I'm reading this to you from my backyard. I actually record these on Saturday, not on Monday. I just got back from a long hike. And right now, I don't really feel like I'm Coruscating in the way I would like to. But my challenge for you this week is to do something that makes you feel like you're Coruscating. And if you would like to, I would love to hear you share it with me. Have a great week, Heartland families. Bye.